med Tine Gøtje.
Hvorfor er det så forbandet svært at hjælpe et land som Somalia? Det spørgsmål stiller politikere, diplomater og nødhjælpsorganisationer sig selv og hinanden. Og imens de gør det, så går det hele den gale vej. FN har sammen med en række vestlige lande postet hundreder af millioner dollars i at gøre Somalia sikkert. Men organisationen har svært ved at sende varer og hjælp til landet, fordi transporterne konstant bliver angrebet, blandt andet af de mange militante islamister i Somalia. Tidligere i dag talte jeg med Nuradin, der er tidligere FN-rådgiver om Somalia. Han har også været kandidat til præsidentposten i den somaliske region Puntland, og nu arbejder han som uafhængig analytiker. Welcome to the program, Mr. Deary. In one of your columns in the British daily, The Guardian, you recently wrote, and let me quote, "I never feared for Somalia as much as I do now." Why is that?
First of all, thank you for having me. The reason is because I do see a wave of radicalization, particularly in the Somali youth. And despite what happened in Somalia over the last 20 years, and there has been very difficult situation in Somalia, my hope was entrusted in the youth and the future generations, those who are inside Somalia and those who are outside Somalia. Unfortunately, now I see a wave of radicalizations affecting both youth inside and outside Somalia.
And how is it you see this radicalization? What is it that is going on that makes you think like this?
For example, inside Somalia, a particular radical group called Al-Shabaab is engaged in a war against the government, is engaged in very radical extremist activities, and they are able to attract a lot of young people inside Somalia. At the same time, also, there have been a particular specific cases that some Somali youth living in the United States, particularly in Minnesota and in London, UK, going back to Somalia to be part of this madness which is going on in Somalia.
Because it gives them some alternative, because it gives them some reason for being?
Well, those who were living in their, much better life in the United Kingdom or in the United States, I don't think that gives them a better alternative than what they already have. But what it gives them is maybe a structure in their life, and that also is more to do with the failure of the system they are in the United States or in the United Kingdom that's failing them.
But if we go back to talking about what is actually happening in Somalia, this radicalization, what do you think will be the consequences of that?
Well, the consequences, one is for the Somalis themselves, because Somalia is a very dangerous place now for the Somalis. There could be consequences for the region, because we can see that the fighting and the troubles are spilling. And it can also have a global consequences, and maybe the piracy which is going on could be one particular an evidence how what happens in Somalia can have a global consequences too.
And then the million-dollar question is obviously what can be done about it?
Well, there's a lot that we can do. First of all, we should not lose hope. Somalia has been difficult, and it's for the last 20 years, but the worst thing we can do is lose hope. Secondly, as the piracy demonstrated, we cannot let Somalia go down the drain, because what happens in Somalia affects us all, whether it's here in Denmark, whether it's everywhere. And secondly, the Somali people do need a lot of sustained support. Of course, the responsibility of taking us out of these troubles rests with us Somalis, but we need a lot of support too.
So international help is the only way of doing this?
No, Somalis taking the responsibilities first, and the international help as well.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
You're welcome.